Well, hello everyone. Roy Rogers here, bringing you this round. I think this is the first game between the Czech Republic and the United States. I'm currently waiting for the game to go live on Iron Throne, but I thought I would switch over to this view so that you could take a look at the two deck lists that are playing. This is a Tyrell grudge match with both Team USA and Team Czech Republic's Tyrell players being paired up against one another. So, yeah. So these are two pretty cool decks. On the left is the Czech player, Milan, I believe is how you say their name. And their deck is like a cool Bara X or Tyrell X Bara mid-range kind of deck that's running some pretty interesting cards like Lysini Galley, which doesn't have a huge number of targets. I assume it just wants the strength pump to be pumping through its stuff. I mean, I guess it's got the Koran or Korhane. I can never say that character's name properly. And a few other targets, but it's mostly, I guess, there for the strength pump, because it looks like it's all about pushing through challenges, keeping your opponent honest, and, you know, playing some, to quote Sam Bratt's, good, clean thrones. And then on the right, we have Tyrell Banner of the Dragon, which is a bit more, you know, American-style degen kind of thing, where it is a combo Renly deck, or combo might be exaggerating a little bit compared to the places where it was, you know, this time last year, when it was a pretty steady tournament presence. But it's still the same kind of game plan, perhaps back closer to the original versions of the deck, which were a bit more like, you know, the classic Roy Rogers approach to Thrones, which is, or analysis of Thrones, which is mid-range deck plus a combo finisher. You know, where it played a pretty honest game, you know, playing good Tyrell characters, playing a few strength bumps, some things like that, and then had, you know, the ability to just abuse Renly to gain a bunch of cards and gain a bunch of power to close the game out quickly. You know, then it became just a generate pure combo deck, the sort of thing that Sandy Barnabas tore up the Northeast Championship Tour with last year. But of course, thanks to the restrictions from FFG, that deck died. But so I guess now people who are interested in Tyrell Dragon have to play it a little bit more honest. Let me just check to see if the game has gone up. I don't think so. It should be easy to find because there's just two Tyrell players, so no. We are not quite there yet. But yeah, so those are the two decks. They're over there. Again, on the left side of your screen is the Czech deck, and on the right side of the screen is the American deck. The two players here, just let me make sure. I'm going to butcher the Czech player's name, and I apologize in advance. I believe it's Milan Rutar. And then we have Eric Swanson on the American side. And both players playing Tyrell. So far, the World Cup's been really interesting and pretty exciting for people following along at home. Trey Alsop, who does most of the streaming for Team USA games, has been making a playlist of all of those games so that you can go back and look at it, including the one that Glazer and I streamed on this channel this time last week. I guess it was this time last week. Maybe it was even more recently. No, it was Saturday. I think it was Saturday. Yeah. Saturday, but sadly it's going to be just me here today, so you're going to be stuck with just Roy's analysis, doing both the analyst role and doing all the technical side. But I'm going to focus on getting the overlay and the stream up running so people can watch the games both on YouTube and live versus providing like sort of analysis at the beginning of the game. But I will be providing plenty of commentary. I'm going to go back and check to make sure we haven't missed the start of the game. Nope. Not yet. Nope, don't see two Tyrell decks. Yeah. So, if we also look, USA, I believe USA won out against Austria. They didn't mark in the spreadsheet they shared with me who won and who didn't. But we definitely saw in the game that we streamed here, that Glazer and I streamed, we saw Derek pull one out of nowhere to win the game. It was 7-2 in the end. Thank you, Alejandro. So we're just sort of sitting here waiting for the game to come up. Oh, wait, there it is. Cool. Awesome. All right, let's put it in here. Let's go World Cup. Should be the password. Yep, cool. All right, I'll get the other account to follow to go in here. Awesome, awesome. All right, we are all ready to go. So whenever the game starts, we'll be right in there. Awesome, we are right into the game. Maybe. Maybe. Iron Throne, you acting weird? It's showing up on my other screen, so let's click refresh over here. Ah, boo. Let's see if we can get in here. World Cup. And yep, there we go. Now it's working. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, I'm going to work on getting the log up and take down the deck lists for our game here. Game log. Yep, the game log is there, so you should be able to follow along right there. And now I'll work on getting the names of everybody up and atom. Just give me one moment. Okay, Tyrell Banner Stag is at the top, so that's Milan. All right, cool, cool. Should transition right over there for you all now. All right, we've got everybody in place, and you should be able to follow along right there. All right, and so House Cat of War, I believe, is Eric, who is going first. And yep, and he made Milan the first player here. So we've got heir to the Iron Throne into a train with the Pentoshi, which would be pretty good for our Renly combo player, because he was able to, of course, heir into... Yeah, he was able to heir into Renly. Yeah, it's going to be really, really hard to beat with this deck. Particularly with having all the gold at his disposal. So having, 7 gold plus the King's Road is also going to put Eric in a pretty good spot to be able to do whatever he wants that first turn and get his board built out enough to be able to support Renly. But, Randall can maybe keep up. And there's a lot of miscellaneous strength pumps to keep Renly standing and defending things. And we see another one of them hit the board there with Arbor Marketplace entering play. All right. Oh, we got the other Renly Baratheon, the Bara one, entering play here. The one from the Bara box that puts characters into play based on his strength. Very powerful card. Maybe not as powerful as his older version of him in there. We'll get to see the battle of the Renlys in this game. And that, I think, actually is a pretty solid term for... Oh, well, is that a milk? That is a milk of the poppy on Renly there, which will slow down the combo player significantly, unless, of course, they have the Tyrell attachment Blessed by the Maiden. Hey, I can remember card names. On the first turn, which is a pretty big ask. Because I believe, let me double check the deck list. I believe that there's only one. No, there's no Blessed, actually, in the deck list. There's only Beacon of the South, Bodyguards, Crown of Golden Rollers, and Queen's Guard. He's relying on Confiscation to remove it. So that puts them in a pretty difficult situation here. They've got 7 gold to work with, plus additional 3, so 10 overall resources. But that milk is going to set them back a turn here if they had any real shenanigans to go with Renly. Because Renly's ability, for those the Pinch and Shadows. Yeah, there's, they both have matching Shadows areas, and I believe they are both running Pinch. I'll double check the deck lists. Yep, the Banner Stag and the Banner... Nope, nope. So that's a Queen's Garden Shadows, then for... doesn't have Pinch. It's just the Queen's Guard for the Dragon player. All right, for Eric. There we go. All right. Okay. A second Garth hits the table. The first one got aired away. Garth just has a military icon because it's only a lord. So let's see. Now, the big problem that I think Eric's going to face here... Oh, Queen of Thorns. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like that Queen of Thorns a lot. And it's just going to let, of course, Eric cycle through his deck to get the best event that he can possibly get here. And he's saving 2 gold, so I think he's definitely going to be... I mean, 2 gold to either bring the attachment out of shadows or to... be able to play some events that he's going to fetch with Queen of Thorns. So the boards are, I think, pretty in favor. I would say that it's definitely in favor of Eric if he didn't have the milk on Renly, but I think that Milan is in a slightly better position here. He's got Sandy Randy. He has at least 1 onboard strength pump, and he's got a single gold, so there could be some other pump here. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's going to definitely be something here. But we've got, as Alejandro says in the chat, we'll probably need to Queen of Thorns into Crown here to not get pinched this turn is probably true. But we're going to see sort of what comes of this intrigue challenge from where the Bearer Renly is ambling on in. And he's blocked by his Tyrell Doppelganger here. So it's 6 strength versus 3 in favor of Eric right now. Let's see if either one of them want to play any tricks here, or they'll just let the challenge resolve. Nope. All right, but it's got to hurt at least a little bit here to be the Tyrell player and not be able to draw your card or gain your renown and do all the busted things Renly's been doing since the 2nd cycle. All right, we got a military challenge. Super cool here coming in. Brings Queen's Guard out of shadow, so there's what the 2 is going to be. So there's not going to be any event shenanigans here, and I think we're going to see a card discard from the hand to stand Renly, maybe? To try to win this military challenge? But will that put him in a difficult situation for the power challenge? Yep, that's definitely true, Alejandro, who points out in the chat it's fine. There's only 1 milk, so confiscation next turn keeps him clean for the rest of the game. That's definitely true. All right, we got the defense here for 9. Oh, I think we're going to... Ooh, does Freeman get to come out here? If there's no strength pump during the challenge, no. Because he only went by 4. All right. Are we going to see... What are we going to see happen to Randy here? All right, Randy's going to go up to 6 strength and stand up here. Standy Randy doing his standy stuff. This is, again, some good clean throws. Strength pumps, standing, challenges. But that I don't think will last long once that confiscation comes down. Did you click through his prompt? Yep, I was going to see whether there was an error, a mistake here. And he stands him. Yep. So we stand Randall. Which means the power challenge... We couldn't win the power challenge, actually, here. And Garth the Gross is getting that renown. Which is easy to forget about Garth. Although back in the Mace days, I definitely won a few games on the power of Garth being sort of some incidental renown here. So, and the swing in for the power for 5. And are we going to see a second card discarded here, or are we going to see just Queen of Thorns come in here? Nope, we're going to see a second card discarded. Superior Claim hits the bin, and Randy. Renly, there we go, is standing, and we see a discard of a superior claim becomes Gifts for the Widow. Okay, so to go fetch next turn, can go fetch some of the power grab attachments like what's it called, Beacon, which would be very useful here. And again, not much. So totally bricked what the Barra player, or excuse me, not the Barra player, the Stag player was trying to do here. So Milan's kind of whole challenge phase was shut down by Renly here, and Renly in the Queen's Guard. And we're getting, I think, an intrigue challenge. That seems about smart. It's also super impressive again that Eric is up on cards still, even though he has done 3 triggers of Queen's Guard. That's pretty nuts, and just again shows you the power of Renly, and of course Queen's Guard. And of course we got a nice little cheeky 1 strength power challenge for some unopposed there. So we're sitting going into the dominance phase at 3 power for Eric, 0 power for Milan, but of course he gains a power for winning dominance. So we're at 3-1 at the end of the first round. And that was a excellent turn for Eric, despite the fact that there was disruption on the first turn for his Renly. Both players are below reserve, by the way. Surprise, surprise. And now, of course, the confiscation will probably come down and unlock the full power of Renly. And again, I think it just shows you the sort of power of Queen's Guard, that, you know, even though there was a fair game being played there, you weren't really able to abuse the synergy of Renly's draw ability, plus you know, the fact that you can frequently draw 2 cards. Although in a banner deck, that, you know, you do miss that a lot. The fact that you could draw 2 cards that wasn't really being abused. Okay, we say goodbye to Milk the Poppy. Confiscation comes down, and we see at the gates. So I think Eric here probably is going to just be abusing Renly, and you're going to try to go off here. So how Milan is going to have to respond is, I think, going wide. So maybe he can clap back, or attack a little bit, and maybe peek in a few holes. But it's going to be really hard to get holes through a Renly with Queen's Guard. Plus the ability of Queen of Thorns to fetch any necessary event. Hightower will help in some ways, but you've got to have, of course, characters, I'm about to say creatures, characters to play for Hightower to do anything. No? Yeah, that's just such a huge tempo loss in the context here of this game. Like, I just don't think you can play Hightower pass here and really expect to be able to get anything accomplished in this challenges phase, and actually even really be able to defend. I mean, there's got to be some really, really sweet events sitting in Milan's hand to really be able to answer what Eric is doing here. Let's take a look real quick at what events are sitting in Milan's hands. There is just a Support of the People. So yeah. Uh-oh. Not a lot of ways to interact, not building out your board. I think Milan is in trouble here, particularly with this combo Renly being able to go off. I think maybe he's going to attempt to get the pinch off, but that's going to be really hard. With a Renly, you've got a 3-strength Garth, you've got Queen of Thorns, you can fetch. As soon as she sits down, she can fetch an event, and of course we've got a Nightmares coming down on... the Nightmares coming down on the opposing Renly, on the Bear Renly. And, okay. What a cheeky card. I did not expect to see that card into play. That's a card I don't think I've ever actually seen played. Wow. Okay. So that, what is that card even called? That card is called Hightower Knight, right? That's right. I have actually never seen a Hightower Knight played. That's super cool. And the Hightower Knight comes in and does significantly improve Milan's board. That's a nice 4-for-4, you know, doing a very good Ranging Party impression here, just being a solid beat stick there that can help maybe get that power challenge off for a pinch, but it's still going to be pretty hard. All right, we got a 5-strength military coming with Randy. And I imagine he's going to get pumped in a minute or two by that Tyrell location. Get him to stand up. That was a very sweet nightmares. Okay, unopposed. Say goodbye to Freeman here. I think that's pretty safe for Eric to do there. This is open deck list, so he knows that the put's not coming. Randy is going to stand up here. Putting some unopposed power, of course, is good on your opponent's house card if you're going to be thinking that you're going to be able to clap back here a bunch. And, of course, the Freeman is firmly disposable. And, why waste a Renly trigger when he can't win on his own and you're really worried about the power challenge? And you want to be able to do multiple challenges on your own turn. So if, Renly has to defend, say, like two challenges here, he might not have to defend the Intrigue challenge because I don't think a pinch trigger could go off here on the Intrigue challenge without some significant BS on Milan's part, but we'll see. All right, Milan just passes challenges. So it's Eric's turn, and he's swinging his Intrigue challenge with who? With the team. We've got Queen of Thorns and Renly coming in. Rumbling in for getting rid of the Superior Claim to get another Gifts of the Widow. So we're going to be seeing some real shenanigans here. I imagine that we're going to see Beacon, definitely, and then maybe a Bodyguard. But are you afraid of a reset? Let's take a look real quick. Valador Harris is a reset that you're a little afraid of, but you'll lose the Queen of Thorns. But I believe that's the only big threat on your end. And so you probably get a Crown plus Beacon here with your 2 gold. Or you could just play Renly's Ride to intimidate down Randall. And we get the Beacon of the South on Renly, which is no surprise at all. And a whole bunch of cards back in your hand, telling Standy Randy to sit on down. Standing Renly up with the Queen's Guard. And then what do we do here? Maybe... So we've got a 7 strength Renly. And so military challenge, double block puts him at 7. So you're winning just by default. You don't even need to do any tricks like going to fetch a crown with your event. Do you jump here? I don't. Yep, you just jump with Renly. And now is Milan afraid of a reset coming down? Nope, they both are running Valador Harris as their reset. So definitely Eric isn't Valador Harrising himself here. So he will be, a little unafraid here. And we see the Hedge Knight, or the Hedge Knight? Yeah. The Hedge Knight eat it for claim rather than taking the dupe off Renly. I wonder if there is an argument for taking the dupe off Renly to keep your board a little bit wide, particularly when you're already thirsty for characters, and if you have another trick like you top deck another High Tower Knight and you want to do, like two draws off your High Tower or something like that. But, it's always safer to have dupes on key characters because the deck is definitely built around Renly pumping his strength and putting stuff into play. All right. All right. So we've got. I'm just going to double check because I think the it's just a little small. Yeah, that's 6 power on Renly, on the green Renly there. And, yeah. Just showing the power of this deck. It honestly feels like the days in which I watched Sandy just smash people with the degenerate version of this deck. But so you're definitely seeing, even though this deck is fairer and not running some, totally busted card advantage cards, it's still capable of doing what it wants, particularly when it knows it doesn't have to play around Marched on the first turn. So, we've got Missandei comes into play. Cool. And wins Dom to go to 14. Definitely Milan is in trouble here. Valor don't... Nope. All right, Garden Caretaker's put into play in the... I guess that was the dominance phase when he put it? Yeah, he put him into play. And, yeah, because the Nightmares worn off. So, yeah, House Cavalier Snap picks a plot, and you win or you die. Versus you win or you die. All right. So they're both trying to refill their their hands here. Of course, House Cut of War / Eric doesn't really have much that they're in such a commanding position. They can kind of just play a little bit of defense and just be able to win as soon as priorities pass to them and challenges. And the Barra player's got to do some... I keep saying Barra player because they have the Barra Renly player, but Milan has to really think here about what that they want to do, because I think they really want to go wide, and because they've got to stop Renly from winning any challenges, or Garth from winning any challenges, which is going to be really hard when they have access to on-demand events. How many copies of Lord Renly's Ride are in there? Let me check real quick. There's only one, but there is still a Growing Strong that I believe we haven't seen. Let me check real quick in the discard pile. Yep, there's still a copy of Growing Strong that Eric has access to. That could be really, well, of course, can just make Renly and Garth just win basically any challenge they want. So you need to make sure that you're doing things. So Grey Hall, Rose Garden, what are we seeing come down? And the Garden Caretaker. Sir Mark Mullendore. All right. Mark's pretty good. Drawing a card, gain the gold. Classic Tyrell stuff. Love the High Tower. One of my all-time favorite Thrones cards. It's nice to see it in play. But I do really think it punished him a little bit yet last turn to do the High Tower. But I mean, yeah. Just without anything to back it up. Okay, Lucini Galley. There we go. That's +2 strength. So, okay. I mean, these are cards. They're doing things. That means I believe you have +3 strength accessible to you, right? Choose a game until end of the phase. Okay, it's important. Milan's playing some cards I'm super not familiar with, like Lucini Galley. I haven't seen played since playtesting, and it wasn't super played even then. But so it's default +2 strength until end of the phase. So that's very powerful. Maybe if he had seen that on an earlier turn, things would be slightly differently, but I don't know if he can keep up. All right. What are we going to see from Eric here? Okay. Bounty of High Garden to gain 5 gold. So we got 8 gold. Pleasure Barge, drawing some cards. Some D-Gen Tyrell things going on here. Pleasure Barge is your only economy. Okay, dupe for Renly. That's pretty good. All right, Eleanor Tyrell. Boop, play a limited card. Are we going to see a second limited card come down? I mean, this is just, of course, meaning that they have even board, and you have a Renly with Queen's Guard. So, I don't know if Randall can compete with that. I definitely don't know if Randall can compete with that. All right, and we got the event Night of Flowers. Ooh, yeah, I think that is game. I think this is just too much for the Barra Stag player to keep up. Oh, I got Barra Stag. Tyrell Stag player. Jeez. Apologies. I'm very tired. I had a very long day at work. Which is still, I'm going to go back to after this, so. All right, House Cat of War. Just finished marshalling. All right. So we're moving on to the challenges. It's Milan's first challenge, and he's initiating a power challenge with the whole team for 12. Yeah. Here we go. I don't know what Milan really can do. With 6 gold, I mean, maybe there's enough tricks. Maybe there's enough tricks. Maybe they want Eric to make a mistake here. He'd be at 14 whole strength if he had kept that, if he had taken the dupe off Renly and kept the thing on his own once this gift hits. Yep, and then you just group defend. Yep. Yep. I mean, I don't even think you need to do strength pumps here. There's 3 instances of renown. Yep. Gifts. Alright, Standing Rand. Give Renly Baratheon +1 strength. Okay. Do you have a Diplomat? Is Diplomat in the deck? Let me check real quick. Okay. Okay. So we've got... alright. We've got Garth. Garth's here. Okay. So, alright. So we've got now... But we have a Growing Strong in response to all of this. Giving Knight of Flowers +2 strength, but also giving Renly, Garth, and Queen of Thorns +2 strength. So the event went on Garth, Renly, and Queen of Thorns, and that allows, of course, Knight of Flowers to trigger for an additional +2 strength. So 4 characters have gotten +2 strength. Oh, and a Hightower Spy. Wow. Okay. Hopefully the top card of the deck is kind to him. And +1 strength. +1 strength. Okay. This is a hell of a challenge. All right, so we got Crown of Gold and Roses coming into play. On to Renly Baratheon. Discarding a card to give... oh, nope. Sorry, that led to a Knight of Flowers getting an additional +2 strength. And then Sir Garland Tyrell is triggering to give Randy +2 strength until end of the phase. But House Cat of War won the challenge 30-20. So Eric wins pretty decisively on plot number 3. Good game on both parts. I just think that these decks kind of lined up poorly against each other. At a fundamental level, it was played quite well by both players. I think Milan maybe got a little stuck on characters. And we don't need to have the log open anymore. Got a little stuck in characters. If he had maybe drawn a little bit better on turn 2, could have gone a little bit wider. Could have maybe slowed down the Renly player more. But that's the game. The Renly player, we saw the continuing power of this kind of strategy. Particularly, one of the things about Tyrell Dragon back when Sandy was playing it was that it really punished people who didn't want to interact with you, and we're trying to play a bit more fair games because of just the ability of Renly plus Queensguard to just go over the top of people on a single character. So if you're not a deck that's built around interacting in a negative way with single characters, so against another constructive deck, which it looks like that's what the Tyrell Stag deck was. It was a constructive deck with using strength pumps to put things into play and win challenges. Renly can just beat that because he's a card advantage and action advantage with Queensguard on a machine. So I just don't think it lined up very well for Team Czech Republic. So the U.S., I believe, is up 1-0 in this round. I don't know if any other games have been played. I don't think so. But I really appreciate everybody who came in and joined me today for this round. It was a lot of fun to do the commentary here. I apologize that I didn't have any guest host and that I'm a little tired. But again, it's a Thursday and right after work. And Derek won his game already, says Alejandro in chat. So I really appreciate that, Alejandro. So that means US is 2-0 up against the Czechs, which is super cool. Congratulations to Team America so far. But the Czechs are still in it. Plenty more games to be played. But again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I'm going to export this to YouTube so Trey can grab it and put it in his playlist so folks can tune in. Apologize if I was a little spacey. Again, I had a really long day at work, and I'm going to hop back actually into work after this. So until then, hopefully I'll be able to do another game soon. And if not, check out the White Book, and we'll have a neck tournament for you all soon. So take care, stay safe, stay healthy, everybody.